uppercut, leave you laid out on the floor. Try to duck and roll, hit and miss, now you counting stars. Should've practiced more, should've hit the mask, get out there more. Claim that you're the best. You gotta show me, son. Actions over words, baby boy. Is you real or what? Talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports, talking way too much, world come. Back sports,
What up, it's your boy Roy Jones Jr. and right now you tuned into World Combat Sports.
Once again, you're tuned in to World Combat Sports Media. Salute to each and every one of you that's in the building. You know, goddamn, push that like button if you choose. And then, tell a friend who know a friend. Big shout out and salute to the WCS supporters. Appreciate what you do. Boxing heads, aficionados, everyone that tune into the live chat, you already know. You already know World Combat Sports Boxing, MMA, EP 117 on deck with it. And you see what it is, Canelo franchise for life. What does that mean exactly? And man, we all in the building, man, make sure that you drop your input. You know what I'm saying? Usually, we get the topics and we start talking about other topics. We got a lot that's on the horizon. We have a lot that's popping. So, we're gonna make it interesting. Let me check something out right quick. Okay, so Michael Johnson, boxing talking more on deck with it. What's good there, Mike? Say what it do, man. What it do with you, my brother. Appreciate you pulling up. Blessings and prayers, man, once again to the Russells. You know what I'm saying? Losing a father who's been a long time staple in their household when it comes to boxing and as a father, man. You know what I'm saying? Prayers to the Russell family. Prayers out to John Page Bagman. You know what I'm saying? Prayers out to him. He always used to talk about the Russells, He known them for a while. He called them, his family, his brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure the YouTube community is missing Batman right now. They always use this cliche term, miss them till they gone. And I guess Batman was around him so much that, people get used to his presence and everything. And you always know when he's asked the questions, like, what do you think about that, Batman? Man, for real. Man, that was typical Batman's, front end reply, man. And then you just get so used to somebody being a certain way, you don't think of them not being here the next day. You feel me? So prayers and blessings to his family, man. Both, Russell Sr. and, Batman, yeah, man, y'all rest peacefully in heaven, Okay, just got done with football practice for sure, man. Stay healthy out there, bro. Stay healthy out there with it. So, let's talk about good old Canelo. Okay? Canelo has become a topic of discussion for all the right reasons. Because before, when Canelo was the topic of discussion, People was looking at this like he could do no wrong. You feel me? Like when you brought up Canelo, we identified that he was doing things that other boxers wasn't. But it was his motive for what he was doing. Even though he had a motive for how he was moving, he was still able to do it in a sense where he was picking up chips. So when you're picking up championships, but yet it seems like you're cherry picking the champions, you leaning, you're leveling out on both sides. It's almost like a seesaw a little bit. Sometimes it's much heavier on one side than the other. But he was picking up championships. Now that we get to a point where I don't want to say Canelo began to get complacent, him and his team, but he just probably felt like if he picked certain fighters, he would be able to continue what he's been able to do. And that's just knock him down and take their strap. That's what I'm saying. He just got complacent. He started really feeling himself. He's supposed to feel himself. To be honest with you, in competition like this in a combat sport, you're supposed to feel yourself. You're supposed to be confident. I think he his ego started to levitate just a little bit higher. And I don't really want to use the H word, humble, but Dimitri Bivol pretty much gave Canelo Alvarez a different type of curriculum on that fight night at 175. He was the teacher. He basically taught Canelo Alvarez that, you might go for quantity, but within that quantity, you're going to run into some quality. And that's exactly what happened to the quality that he ran into with Dimitri Bivol. He said, if you sit up here and cherry pick certain fighters and they lack quality, but yet you find it's good to continue to put those chips away into your legacy and continue to quantify, then you run into somebody like Bivol that's a quality fighter, a quality boxer. And you find out it's not going to be an easy night. On top of that, you find out that it's going to be extremely tough. Now, just like I mentioned and told you all when I was saying that Teofimo Lopez was the undisputed titleist, let's go back a little bit, you know what I'm saying? And put those remindies, those sticky pads up there, you know what I'm saying? Those posties. When I was telling you all that Teofimo Lopez was the undisputed, y'all would say, don't nobody care about that franchise. No, nobody care about this. Don't nobody care about that. And what was I saying? I was saying you need to care about it because Mauricio Suleiman is going to make you care about it. Mauricio Suleiman is the president of the WBC. It's certain fighters who are his golden childs. And it's nothing you, me, or anyone else can do about it except come on here and talk. I explained to you all why I said Teofimo Lopez was the undisputed lightweight champion without Devin Haney's belt, because the criteria for that franchise belt had already been in place, and it already had been highlighted so much as a superior belt that they started to come up with alternative names for Devin Haney's belt. And you had people more upset and frustrated with Devin Haney's belt being the pride when it's just like any other WBC belt. It's like the WBC belt Jermell Charlo has, Canelo Alvarez have, Cool Boy Steph, Shakur Stevenson, Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Plenty of people. Artur Beterbiev. Plenty of people have these. Josh Taylor, Errol Spence Jr. Devin Haney belt is just like these guys' belt. Just like it. But unfortunately for him, he finds himself in a black hole that has been manually influenced by the sanctioned body of the WBC. This is a black hole that Devin Haney nor Bill Haney can get out of because they have no control over who keeps and continues to stir the pot and make people understand that his belt means nothing at the lightweight division. That's what they was trying to do. And that's when I was telling you how important and how powerful the franchise belt was, all because Mauricio was injecting all this negativity out to the general public and devaluing the belt that Haney had, that he was empowering. And he was basically helping people understand that the franchise belt is the more superior belt. You might not respect it now. Look, I try to tell y'all. I say you might not respect it now, but you will respect it. So what do we have now? Canelo Alvarez, the first franchise titleist. The first franchise titleist, Canelo Alvarez. And we all know what the little policies and stipulations was in the inception of this franchise belt. They brought Canelo Alvarez on deck to be the front runner for this belt because he was the cash cow and he was the man. That was at 60. Now, the scuttlebutt has it that Canelo Alvarez may indeed be afforded the opportunity to be a franchise champion who doesn't have to face his mandatory. Canelo Alvarez. Now, it seems like Canelo Alvarez is just a one-on-one with this, because we all know that until Mauricio inserts the franchise title in other divisions, those other collective champions are not going to be rightfully afforded the opportunity to say, I don't want to face my mandatory. You have to have a franchise title in place. You may not have to have it in place once you even win the belt and your mandatory come up. Your mandatory can come up and Mauricio can come up there and give you and elevate you to the franchise belt and just totally expunge any responsibility that you have to be to face your mandatory. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you win the belt and then you have it for a while and then you have a mandatory. It don't matter, bro. Mauricio Suleiman can make that shit disappear. But hearing the scuttlebutt about Canelo Alvarez potentially being a lifer when it comes to the franchise titles is nothing new to me. Like when I'm hearing all this news, I attempted to tell the boxing public back then how important the franchise title would be. They was busy riding off narrative wheelbarrow pushing individuals that just wanted to follow one another around in a circle. You know what I'm saying? Ooh wee, this is OK Corral. Around and about we go. Around and about we go. I'll try to tell you all that Mauricio Suleiman was going to continue to insert franchise belts. No one wanted to listen. And what happened? Superfly. He inserted the Juan Francisco Estrada belt after he defeated Roman Gonzalez. He inserted that shit quickly, which Rung Fasai would have had the rightful pathway to face Juan Francisco Estrada. That all went to hell because they elevated him to the franchise championship. I tried to explain to him, you know what I'm saying? I guess I got to, be on here yelling, kicking, and screaming. It's not going to happen. Dancing around. It's not going to happen. I tried to explain to people way back when Teofimo had the belt how important it was going to be. Whether y'all like it or not, the franchise belt isn't going anywhere. And this is a perfect example of what I was trying to explain to people in the beginning, the warm-up stages, that it's only going to get worse. And like I said, if indeed Canelo Alvarez is given that right, that means he would have no ifs, ands, or buts about it. He would have no demands, no requirements, no responsibilities to face David Benavidez, a person that is sitting up here scrambling around to be even in the picture to face Canelo Alvarez to get that belt. The good thing about it If by chance this is enforced, that WBC title will become, into the hands of David Benavidez potentially. But I don't think he'll ever be satisfied because Canelo Alvarez, he's the legitimate certified official super middleweight undisputed world champion. He's official. No matter the way you look at it, he's official. So when it comes down to David Benavidez attempting to try to go for unification, or like he said, he want to stay at 68 until he fight Andrade, Caleb Plant, Canelo Alvarez. His main target, his objective, of course, is going to be Canelo Alvarez. But it really seems like Canelo is on the Duck Masters Coalition for a reason. It's not hate. It's just at this point, Canelo is like, people are saying that he should fight this fighter, he should fight that fighter. He's making all this money, but yet we hearing that he's about to face an old, antiquated, over the hill Gennady Golovkin. This is after, the rumor was out that it may potentially be a Charlo and Errol Spence situation with Benavidez in the equation. No, that's too much. Let me go over here and face Dimitri Bivol. Okay, take a L. Now you have a back end fight where they're trying to build up and put as much helium in there as possible. They're trying to say, oh man, Canelo, Gennady could knock out Canelo, and here's why. No, check this out. It's not here's why. It's here's a lie. It's no here's why. It's here's a lie. Another lie with the same tired ass, stale freaking buildup with people switching over. Oh, Gennady can possibly knock out Canelo. Here's why. No, here's another lie. Gennady ain't knocking out no motherfucking Canelo, and he just took punches from Dimitri Bivol 175, and goddamn Gennady Golovkin ain't fought outside 160. Just got done. What I tell people all the time, it is up to us, the fans, to come up with your own opinion when WBC approves a franchise fighter. Andrew Charles on deck. What's good? Everything boxing on deck. Shout out to my boy Keon on deck with it. So I'm saying to myself, like, when I initially mentioned that T.O. was in a class of his own, all right? Because when the franchise belt came out, it had all these stipulations and rules. It was like, hey, it's non-transferable. The franchise champion can be franchise champion forever and a day. There's no switching up. Even if he defeated, the belt cannot be transferred. So then we saw Lomachenko, who was a unified lightweight champion. He becomes franchise. And let's just put it, let's throw it out. Okay. It wasn't anything that was going to happen anytime soon, but he would have had to face Devin Haney if he would have sustained his WBC championship status. All right. So it didn't happen. He became franchise. So in between Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez, the rules changed. Mauricio Suleiman made it official, made it documented that a fighter can petition for the franchise belt. And that's exactly what Team Lopez did. They petitioned for the franchise belt. Lopez won, and they was able to get that franchise title transferred over. At that moment, Teofimo Lopez became the first lightweight undisputed titleist under the franchise label. Whether people want to see it for what it is now, you're going to see it later. All right? I'm just letting you know he's the first to do it. So then, moving forward, of course, T.O. goes in there with Cambozo. Petition is in, blah, blah, blah. He gets the belts. Now Cambozo's about to step in there with Devin Haney. I hope it's the same. I hope it's no, we didn't freaking petition to the franchise. We don't believe in that. No, I think everything that the Team Haney is in there for, they petition for every belt. He already has the WBC. So they petition for everything. That everything is franchise. All right, so they can clean the motherfucking table. Now, with Canelo Alvarez, what does it do for boxing if indeed Canelo is a lifetime franchiser? Well, what are you going to do for everybody else that move up? How many divisions are you going to allow these fighters to move up if they become franchise titleists to be able to implement the same preferential treatment as Canelo Alvarez? Because if you allow Canelo Alvarez to move and slide, then somebody else is going to say, well, what about me? It's only a matter of time. Mauricio Suleiman is going to continue to shake up boxing, people. I'm telling you. He's going to continue to shake up boxing. Remember, WCS is telling you this shit firsthand. He's going to continue to shake up boxing, and he's going to do it at the opportune time. The first black franchise title holder is going to be big. Mark my words when I'm telling you. The first franchise title holder that is a black fighter is going to be epic, and it's going to shake up boxing. And it's going to fuck a whole lot of shit up. It's going to have y'all shaking y'all head. But don't say I did not tell you all. Just like I told you the importance of the franchise back then. Look what's going on right now. Look what's going on right now. I don't have to sit up here and pick up my tone to make y'all understand that boxing will forever be a hocus pocus type system. The sport that is a part of this system is boxing. When you have no regulation, you have sanctioned bodies that's able to roam freely and do what the hell they want to do. Canelo Alvarez, if he does not face David Benavidez after Gennady Golovkin, and let's just say he faces Dmitry Bivol, it's going to be some people that give him criticism the way it's supposed to. Thick, hot, sticky, and painful. They should just tell it the way it is. If he does not go over there and defend those titles against a 168 pounder, already he's on the Duck Masters Coalition for a reason. Because you want to defend your titles for the first time against a fighter like Triple G, who hasn't even fought at 68. And people are talking about Triple G has an opportunity. He has a chance to knock Canelo out. Here's why. I really, when I hear that shit and read it, it's very, very frustrating to be like, damn, this is grown ass adults just doing shit for views. It don't get to me personally. I'm just saying when it comes to people who saying they're boxing heads, boxing enthusiasts, they're a fan of the sport. No. No, you're more than a fan of the sport now. But Canelo should be called out on the carpet. How quickly you at the top and how that breeze feel when you on the descent. That's what Canelo's feeling right now. But it's not hitting him. It's not hitting him enough to the point where he's feeling discouraged or whatever. Because you know why? Because he's still getting that money. So when you're descending and you're on a cloud of money, the landing is way more softer than it would be if you was just dropping and you was like, damn, I feel lost. Bow. Smelling salt, please. You know what I'm saying? Canelo's floating down in that goddamn carpet of money, y'all. He's just floating down to the bottom. He may feel some type of way about what people saying. He's like, I don't care. Why do I have to do that? I don't have to do that. I don't have to fight in no catch. Why did I do that? Canelo is showing you what entitlement is all about. Canelo is showing the people what entitlement is all about. Eddie Reynoso can give a damn about what the fans think about Canelo. Either way, he's going to ride this train all the way until the motherfucking shit run out. Until he hits his last destination and that's it. If Canelo Alvarez enforces, if it is true what Mauricio Suleiman is talking about, and if he's enforcing this lifetime achievement award where he can franchise at 68 and don't fight David Benavidez, Once again, it's going to look bad for boxing as it always does. It's going to be absolutely and truly authenticity when it comes to the word fucked up. It will be a duck, one of the biggest ducks in boxing. Real talk. Even one of the biggest ducks in boxing, man. Because look, the boxing heads understand that Canelo never fought that WBC Mexican monster. He was a 2-time WBC champion. Canelo never fought him for that belt. The mere fact that Canelo swooped in and tried to fight for that belt with Anthony Yildirim tells you his mentality. That should put it on full display, his mentality right there. Then the fact that he was thinking about moving up to face Makabu. That would have been easy for Canelo, but some of his people was probably saying, you know what, Canelo? No, not right now, Canelo. Not right now. It might make you look a little bit bad. You go in there and that fight is just bad. And you just go up there and pick up a fifth division, knowing that guy wasn't on your level. But it would have added another division to his legacy. But if he doesn't step in the square and split the ropes with David Benavidez, and he indeed fights Gennady, because that fight seems like it's happening, and he then steps back in for a rematch with Dimitri Bivol, and who knows after that? Who knows what's going to happen in 68? Because I think, in my heart of hearts, when it comes down to us seeing a trilogy between Canelo and Gennady Golovkin, I think people are going to give Canelo somewhat of a pass facing Triple G because they already fought twice. They're going to give him a motherfucking pass, bro. Benavidez will be a 3-time champ, though. He'll parade the belt around and won't receive any of the slander that Haney did. Well, he's a 3-time champ right now. He's a 3-time champ. Even with the interim, Benavidez is a 3-time champ. So if he's able to pick up that vacant title, if it does, open up, he'll be a 4-time WBC champ without him being, provided the opportunity to face the undisputed titleist, top pound for pound at one point in time, Canelo Alvarez. It might even come to a fact that Benavidez may have to move up to 175 because Canelo refused to fight him. We might have another Riddick Bowe Lennox Lewis type of situation. You never know. Benavidez already walking around with 2 old belts and an interim. Yeah, but that interim, you know how that is. That's combined with the damn WBC title. It's a WBC interim title. You add that into the chips. I don't see Triple G knocking out Canelo. I don't see it at all. But when you hear people speak on it and they come up with all these dumbfounded, foolish type of scenario-based narratives, man, just to hype shit up, and then you have them goofballs in the chat. Oh, yeah, for real, Triple G? Yeah, Triple G still has power. Well, he never should have got the IBF title. Well, that was different. Then that's when you snatch their chain. Give me that motherfucker talking that bullshit. Goddamn well, Triple G shouldn't have had that IBF title. Not only did he have the IBF title, he was able to just chill out, hang around, and finally get a fight with Yoda Murata. Well, half of these cats on here thought that was Dimitri Bivol. They didn't know Yoda Murata and Dimitri Bivol was 2 different people. They looked the same. Oh, man, I didn't know he dropped down from 175 down here to 60, dog. Wow, that's that dude hard right there. That's Yoda Murata. Well, guys, they look alike. Man, people didn't even understand, dog. Now he becomes a WBA and IBF champion. And he's going to step outside his weight class and not put his belts on the line? Put your belts on the line. Make it interesting for the general public to say, now I'm tuned in. Now, of course, I do have to, expose the other side that Triple G, a person that's been campaigning at 60 his whole career, that he now has that window to fight Canelo at 168, and Canelo titles are on the line. I know people up here saying, what if, what if? It ain't no fucking what if. And if it is a what if, that's only because Canelo wanted to be a what if. They wanted to come up here and take two easy fights. If Triple G wins this motherfucking trilogy and they go to a fourth, it's because boxing wanted it to be that way. It's not because it's gonna physically play out just like we've seen the Bivol Canelo fight. No, that's not the case. This shit, if it goes the way and Triple G wins this trilogy, it's just because that's the way boxing put that F word. They fixed it to be that way just so he can turn right back around and scoop up another paycheck in a fourth fight. I'm telling you all, man. Whether you want to listen or not, it's all good. I don't really care. But you have to understand, boxing is the system of hocus pocus. And this could be a hocus pocus moment. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of hocus pocus moments that can be associated with this fight. But if you're telling me reality, like the reality of it, I do not see Triple G coming close to beating Canelo at 68. I don't see it. If Dimitri Bivol couldn't knock out Canelo Alvarez, Triple G isn't. Triple G is much slower than Bivol, first of all. All those power shots that you want to land is not going to land on Canelo. You might land some, but it's not going to land with the frequency that Dimitri Bivol had. You feel me? So, if this situation plays out and the fight is closer, one, Canelo is carrying Triple G. And then two, if Triple G has his hand raised and Canelo takes a motherfucking second loss in a row, the first of his career, man, that's just to put him in a calendar that he have to face another opponent that he know he can beat. And so people can stop talking about him facing Benavidez, him facing Dimitri Bivol. You know what I'm saying? It may sound stupid as fuck. I agree. But when it comes to this hocus pocus shit in boxing, scenarios like this, it's a possibility it can happen. I don't like doing the what if media shit, expressing these narratives that evolves around hypotheticals and shit. But when it comes to a fighter like Canelo, who's entitled and he's doing what the fuck he want to do, how much skin does Triple G have in the game? Just like I told you about Charlo, Errol Spence. If Errol Spence is able to move up to 154 and fight for the undisputed titles, the perfect scenario for both him and Charlo was for Charlo to lose the belts. Errol Spence picks up a damn second division as undisputed. That goes to his legacy. And then he fights in a rematch. Charlo gets him back. He becomes two-time, not just the first. He becomes two-time super welterweight undisputed. Both of them are fed off the hocus pocus of boxing. It can be the same way for this Canelo Alvarez and Triple G. But the only thing about it, Canelo loses out on this more than Triple G because he picks up his first ever second loss in boxing. And also, Canelo's belt is not on the line, people. I mean, Triple G. Triple G's belts are not on the line. So he really has nothing. He just has Triple G's name, and that's the fuck it. That's done. That's a wrap. That's it. He gets a paycheck. He has Triple G name. Triple G gets another title to his legacy. I mean, another division and undisputed titles to his legacy. And they fight a fourth time. I know it's dumb. It sounds dumb as fuck, but look, this is hocus pocus shit that you got to pay attention to and respect. Benavidez 3 times. Everything say big fat Scotty. Appreciate it. So that's the way I look at it, man. When it boils down to what is on the horizon for Canelo Alvarez. We hearing this franchise for life. To further separate him from fighting David Benavidez, and then they want to throw an old ass Triple G in there. When nobody benefits off this except Triple G. He can become undisputed at 68, and Canelo has nothing. You know what I'm saying? He can't pick up the 160-pound titles again. None of that shit. And though I provided you a scenario that doesn't benefit Canelo, in reality, it kind of does, because he can pretty much slide into a fourth fight with Triple G, knowing that he can beat his ass. And he don't have to worry about Dimitri Bivol and a David Benavidez. All of a sudden, we're getting Canelo Alvarez Triple G, number 4. That allows Canelo naysayers to say, oh man, let's focus on this now. Wow, I can't believe Triple G beat him. That's 2 losses in a row. I don't know if that's going to play out that way, bro. But that's all I got on that shit. That's it. That's all I got on that. Let's talk about Black Belt Ben. What's good? What's good with it? Let's talk about one of the other larger topics that's floating around, when it comes to the entrees of boxing topics. And that's whatever's going to happen with Spence Crawford. So, looking at it this way, you hear people 1 minute say, the contracts is, en route. You know what I'm saying? Both fighters have said, they're in talks, so to speak. The fight's going to happen. We've gotten good sign from Crawford and Spence, but we truly don't know where's the process right now with the papers, the documents. We have no idea or no indications what the details are in this contract, what it's going to be. A lot of individuals are concerned about the numbers other than the performance. I myself can care less what either fighter is getting for this fight. If Errol Spence gets 60% and Bud Crawford gets 40%, it's not going to deter or basically reduce what I'm thinking about when it comes to the fight itself. It's not. I really don't care about what the fighters are getting percentage-wise, because me, myself, I'm not getting any of that. I'm not getting paid a residual. I'm not getting paid a finder's fee. I'm not getting paid any of that. I don't put emphasis into including that into the talk of them stepping in the ring together. I really don't care. The only time I give a damn, you know what I'm saying? The only time I give a damn to speak on this is when people are speaking on what someone don't deserve. And this is where I'm at with that. When you say someone don't deserve, then I have to say, okay, let me remind the general public on why that person does deserve that. When Errol Spence was about to step in with Manny Pacquiao, nobody wasn't talking shit about what Manny Pacquiao didn't deserve. I hear cats, Spencerholics all the time talking about, well, Crawford was hurt by Gamboa. Do you know they was both heading in there for their 24th professional fight? Both of these cats was undefeated. So we have people mention a guy who was undefeated stepping in there, a killer at the time, Olympian, well respected, and he ended up being stopped by Terrence Crawford, right? All right. So they go back to not just, the previous forms, they go back to Gamboa, right? But then when Manny Pacquiao is about to step in there with Errol Spence, no one is talking about any type of 8-year history or something that was way back when Manny Pacquiao had his 12th professional fight. Nobody was talking about Torre Ocampo. Nobody was talking about Torre Ocampo. Torre Ocampo stopped Manny Pacquiao in 3 rounds, didn't he? 3 rounds, people. But when it came to fighting Errol Spence, I was trying to tell people that your accolades over a period of time absolutely carry forward and continue to build up your portfolio as you rise in the sport of boxing. That's why your pay go up. If you came into the sport doing nothing, haven't fought champions, and you've been in this motherfucker for 15 or 20 years and you never fought a champion, how are you expecting to make that big payday? So championships does matter. Accolades does matter. And when Pacquiao was stepping in there, people was not looking at the fact that he had 7 defeats. They was looking at it because he was an 8 division. That's Manny Pacquiao. They wasn't bringing up shit. Well, Manny Pacquiao, I mean, what does Spence has to earn? You know, what is he going to earn off this? I'm saying, how he's going to benefit off Manny Pacquiao? Dude was knocked out in his 12th fight in the 3rd round. What is he going to earn off an old politician? Nobody wasn't saying that. It was all like, oh man, great. He get to fight Manny Pacquiao. Here's the fighter's breakdown and all this other shit. No one was talking about Manny being stopped in his 12th professional fight. They want to talk about Terrence Crawford being hurt by Gamboa in their 24th professional fight. 23-0. They head into these heading inside this square, the battle. 23-0. Something that's special, right? And people talking about some other shit. So when it comes to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, when I hear people talk about deserving, he don't deserve. I'm like, I just look at it as if you just being spiteful. You know, you just being a Bud Crawford hater. And I'll never to this day understand why brothers are absolutely taking what I say personal. There's no link between me, Crawford, and you. There's no link between you, Errol, and me. It's no link. I don't know how clear I have to put it. It's no link, bro. We have nothing in common except speaking on boxing. And I'm not going to lie to you. I do look at some of these brothers different to get extremely upset over conversation. When you're mad in a group of individuals over something I said about a fighter, Errol Spence and Crawford are not even 1% of boxing. They're just a top name that's on the pound for pound list, and they're elite fighters. But when you talk about non-deserving, how does Terrence Crawford 3 divisions do not carry forward to get 50-50 when it comes to Errol Spence? How all of a sudden we're trying to set a different standard when everybody else, they divisions add up. Canelo Alvarez, shit, he moves up to 60 and he's pretty much dictating the terms. He really ain't did shit yet, but he dictating the terms. Gennady got all the belts, but Canelo dictating the terms. But it's just Canelo. But we're talking about Bud Crawford now. His 3 divisions just it doesn't resonate. The people saying, no, it's nothing. It doesn't matter. We're talking about the 3 belts that Errol Spence has. I'm saying, so all of a sudden, you're eliminating the fact that he was undisputed at 140, right? They want to act like that's gonna die just because it was Julius Ndongo, but it's not. This shit is not dying. This shit isn't going anywhere. You can come up with 100 different scenarios on why Errol Spence should be the A side. So what is the A side exactly? If he's going to be the A side, goddamn do A side shit. It's been dudes that's the A side, but yet the B side got the benefit as the A side. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all talk about Terrence Crawford not being with a promotion, but then you want to act like, why he ain't trying to make the fight and this, that, and the other. If you're saying that Terrence Crawford don't have shit going for himself and Errol Spence has everything in his court, then the ball should be rolling pretty smoothly. PBC should be making shit, in rotation, and we should be getting these documents in rotation, and we should start moving forward. That's all I can say about it. But you can't deny the fact that he's a 3-division world champion, formerly undisputed. A feat that Errol Spence is trying to accomplish right now. So when I hear the non-deserving, all because you have the WBC, WBA, and IBF titles, and you're looking at something that was obvious, right? Like, check this out now. Let me itemize this shit for you. You're looking at something that was obvious anyway, that Terrence Bud Crawford wasn't going to fight for the WBA title. It was all en route and set up for Errol Spence to get that WBA title, because he's trying to do something special in his only division for which he's came world champion. But Crawford, not so much. He's already been to the highest pinnacle, and he stands over there with the WBO titles as a 3-weight world champion. But I get it. I get it why people look at a black fighter and they don't want to damn serenade him with that automatic what he should get. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to serenade him with what he's already been at the top of the mountain. He's been able to, walk that ridge line up there. He's able to stand and put his stake in there and say, I conquer the whole division. I'm undisputed. People don't want to give him that shit. Then they want to talk about money. People don't think he should get this amount of money and that amount of money, all because he's Terrence Crawford. And it's a big rivalry that people want to put between these two. Well, you weren't saying that shit for Caleb Plant. Was money really in talks? No. The one thing that was talked about with Caleb Plant was what? He's getting the most money ever. Oh my God. The fight's not happening. The fight's not happening. And then word come out, we did everything that Canelo wanted. We did this and this. And then they turn back around and fight the second time, and Caleb's getting over 10. He's getting paid very, very well. Caleb Plant isn't a black fighter. So how can Bud Crawford, the first thing come to your mind and roll off your tongue is what he don't deserve? You wasn't saying shit about Caleb Plant and what he deserved, and he's in the same situation that Terrence Crawford is. Terrence Crawford has the WBO title. Caleb Plant has the IBF title. Either way it goes, the individual that was going for undisputed that had most of the belts, in both of these scenarios, they have to come and they have to make it satisfying for that fighter to step in the ring, or the fight doesn't happen. The fight doesn't freaking happen, y'all. If PBC, Errol Spence, and whoever else is not willing to appease Team Crawford, regardless of what he don't have, to make this fight, then the fight isn't going to happen. Velocity Cuts on deck. What's good? OTB. What's good with it? Canelo should have shut a lot of people up if he had beat Bivol. One fight can change everything. True words. True words. True words, man. But what I'm saying when it comes to this scenario, it's a scenario that more recently we've seen Caleb Plant experience. But people will always say, so-and-so ain't Canelo. So-and-so ain't Canelo. You're right. But is Terrence Crawford Caleb? Because last time I checked, he had more accolades than Caleb Plant. Is Errol Spence Canelo? No, he's not. But he is the one with 3 belts, just like Canelo had going into the fight with Caleb. Is he not? Is he not? I mean, is he not? If you want to talk about all the heavy lifting, understand what needs to go with the heavy lifting. If a fighter really wants that fight, then they have to make a compromise. No matter how you look at it, the compromise shouldn't be coming from Terrence Crawford because he doesn't need the Errol Spence fight, man. Why should the compromise appease the Texan footprint, the Long Island footprint, all because it's a popular fighter? You know how many undisputed fights we've seen circulate and we still up here talking about this same bullshit at welterweight? We've seen Josh Taylor and Jose Ramirez unify. Canelo Alvarez, of course, unify. Most recently, Jermell Charlo unify. We're talking about all undisputed, y'all. Teofimo Lopez unify. And we still up here talking about what Terrence Crawford don't deserve. I'm just saying, we still talking about what Terrence Crawford don't deserve? Because Josh Taylor, how many divisions he had? You know what I'm saying? He finally got undisputed. Cool. Kudos. How many divisions has Jermell Charlo been a world champion in? Now, Canelo becomes a different topic of discussion because the man is a multi-division unified champion. It looks very, very good, but finally he unified for undisputed, right? And just like Andrew said, if he would have defeated Dimitri Bivol, then the conversation absolutely changes everything. Like, it just changes everything because people will look at him like, man, you know what? He can't be stopped, man. Every challenge that we think that's going to slow him down, he goes up there and get it done and keep it moving. It didn't happen this time. It didn't happen with Dimitri Bivol. So when y'all sit up here and say what Terrence Crawford don't deserve, he absolutely deserved that shit. It deserved to be a 50-50 split, period. A lot of cats will sit up here and talk with their emotions rather than logical common sense. And we all know that type of sense isn't so common because we have what is called a two-sided divide that's going on YouTube when it comes to Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford. We have two sides where the languages are quite different. Of course, we have the verbal sparring that's going back and forth and people, sending insults back and forth. But in reality, like in the reality of it all, it's just all fun and games. That's why I don't understand some of you soft ass brothers getting mad at a human being that is talking boxing just like you, but you want to make it personal. You get up here and you say rest in peace and blessings to Batman, but yet you get on here talking as if you don't have a care in the world and it's strictly about boxing and you want to make it personal. And you have people dying in the streets all the time. That is stupid, ignorant shit that goes on in this YouTube shit. Keep it on boxing and go on about your day. We good. But don't act like you are a shaker and mover and saying who deserves what. Both of these fighters, 50-50 is good to go. Now, according to the motherfucking percentage, as far as what they're going to pay these fighters, let's just say both fighters get 5 and 5. All right? I think that's extremely low because guaranteed money for Terrence has been higher than Errol Spence. We all understand that shit. So I don't think that'll be feasible for Terrence Crawford to take 5 guarantee and then 50-50 on the back end. Let's just say both of these cats get 8 apiece. You know what I'm saying? 10 apiece. Let's just say, for instance, 10 apiece and 50-50 on the back end. How's it going to change our lives? This shit is not going to change our lives, man. What's going to change our spirit is the fact that we finally was able to get Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford in the ring and fight for the undisputed welterweight titles. It's going to come a time when humanistically, we're going to get exhausted and tired of the bullshit. And we're not going to talk. If this shit comes down, let's just say July, I'll reach out a little further, August. Let's just say July. the end of July. If we haven't heard anything at the end of July heading into August about this fight, I think is pretty evident. We should start focusing on something else. On my side of the spectrum, Terrence Crawford had called out Errol Spence and Jermell Charlo. I'm not sure how fast that fight can happen, but people want to tune in to see it. If Terrence Crawford was facing Jermell Charlo, people would tune in to see it. They would pretty much forget about that Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford was absolutely a conversational topic for years upon years. But then when the release point hit and that fight ain't happening no more, people going to move on. Say, what's next? Well, Terrence Crawford want to fight Jermell Charlo because you can't get the damn Errol Spence fight. If that fight's come close to happening, because we all know, as crazy as it is, right? As crazy as this is, check this out. As crazy as this is, Jermell Charlo just became undisputed. I still don't think Jermell Charlo is more popular than Errol Spence. I'm just being honest with you. It comes a point in time where you can do more than somebody, and people don't accredit you with it. Now you have two people in the same stable. One is the first to ever do it, undisputed, super welterweight. But is he still more popular than Errol Spence? I don't think so, people. I will look. People always tell me I'm hating. I don't think so. I don't think Jermell Charlo is more popular than Errol Spence when it comes to him selling tickets. That is a fact, though. That is a fact. Because the last time I checked, Jermell Charlo doesn't have the good graces of Jerry Jones. You know what I'm saying? He's not fighting PPV in the big stadium. He's not the guy. Even with him being Jermell Charlo, the undisputed titleist, he still can't sell tickets. So that's why I say Terrence Crawford and Jermell Charlo, the way the narratives are, they can fight. That fight can potentially be made quicker than Errol Spence because Errol Spence is on PPV and Terrence Crawford isn't. Jermell Charlo, they attempted some bullshit. It didn't work. So if you take Crawford and Jermell Charlo and put them in a fight on PPV, it would do pretty decent numbers. We don't know what those numbers are, but it'll do decent numbers. That's all I'm saying. A side is to turn my popularity and drawing power. Accolades can enhance your popularity, but that's not the case in this situation. That's not a compromise. That's an attempted robbery. How are you going to run a business, bring in 70% of the clients, and be expected to give someone else half? Run a business and bring in 7% of the clients. And you're saying boxing is a business, right? So let's get this straight. So when you come into a business, there's levels to business. There has to be levels because when we start the work, we want to get promoted, right? The way you get promoted in boxing is what? You build up your accolades. The accolade and credentials doesn't go anywhere. Just because one person is shining at this certain level, and you're saying Errol Spence is bringing in 70%, and he's shining at this certain level, you have to understand and respect that boxing consists of two individuals to bring those numbers in. Once again, Ben, boxing consists of two individuals. It's not a single man sport. It is a tandem. It is a two-man sport when they compete in the ring. Two men. So if you want to sit up here and act delusional as if you haven't seen two boxers fight and say that Errol Spence is bringing in, then disable your keyboard, goddammit, and take some time out. Because that's just not the way it works. Boxing is built off credentials. The way you increase your pay is through your achievements. Just because a fighter that's in a different promotion is operating as a fighter on this side of the house that's doing the PPV numbers and the other fighter isn't, doesn't mean when they finally link up together to make that money, we won't get similarities like Anthony Joshua, Vladimir Klitschko. Because we all know before Vladimir Klitschko, what was Anthony Joshua doing? Was he supposed to be this astounding PPV star? How did he sell out Wembley Stadium? He had Vladimir Klitschko as a dance partner, a legend. Anthony Joshua wasn't close to being no legend. Not only that, he went and seeked out Vladimir Klitschko, who was in retirement, and he still almost stomped on him. So you talk about somebody bringing in, and this is another level of delusion. When you're bringing in clients in a specific location, this is not global we're talking about. You're talking about a centralized location in your backyard. Are you truly thinking that resonates across the sport of boxing? Are you truly putting that in the same footprint as Vegas? Are you thinking, this is goddamn the jamboree? Well, we just don't need to do anymore. You're right here locally in Texas, and that's all you need. No, that's not the way it works in boxing, bro. 70%. Come on, man. You're talking about accolades build up. Accolades, bro. You up here giving Errol Spence all this credit for having PPVs in his backyard. Just because he stepped out to California once, he brought two Garcias and a Ugas. Two Garcias and a Ugas. And he did not increase his numbers from the Mikey Garcia fight. Errol and Bud numbers in the same bracket. Man, it's hardly any separation. It's just look at how they did Bud. They say he did 90 to 120 or 30 or 40. No one really knew the numbers. But God damn it, when it comes to the Spencerholics, the Spencerholics has those numbers down to the T. They think they have those numbers down to the T. You can't tell them anything different. This man is getting 1.5 guaranteed money. But it's been said that Bob Arum lost so much money on Terrence Crawford he can buy a house in Beverly Hills, and people still didn't understand what he meant. He was speaking on the fact that if you're not a PPV fighter, uses 1.5 to 2 million. That's like the cap, 1.5 to 2, then get the shit on the back end. You got to see what the numbers are like when they come in. But Terrence Crawford getting 6 million guaranteed without PPV. 6 guaranteed. What amazing. Somebody find that pen. That shit is valuable. I'm about to hit up Bomac, hit Crawford. I want to see if they have that pen that he signed that contract with. Because for you not to be on PPV and sign 6 million guarantee, come on, you're doing excellent, outstanding. When Errol Spence was getting much lower guarantee money. Hey, however you want to see it, man. However you want to look at it, that's up to you. You know what I'm saying? I hear people always talking, WCS, I be on this and that when it comes to Errol. Sometimes I do be on my bullshit sometime with Spence, just to get to his Spencerholic pundits. But no one can say I don't know boxing. No one can say I don't know MMA and BJJ. No one can say that I can sit up here and if I really want to be on that time, I can explain and talk what you want to do. But you know how that goes, man. When people are mute, they're going to say what you want. Half of the niggas that's out there that's mad at me, all they do is argue. They can't have a boxing conversation without dropping obscenities. All they want to do is argue. That's non-conducive to the listener, bro. Moving on. LOL. WTF, same bracket of what? People latch on to the initial exaggerated reports on Spence numbers based on literally nothing. But when the actual numbers come out, Spence ain't on any different level than Bud. See, Andrew up here, goddamn, with that blowtorch in his hand again. It's really no distinct separation with these guys. There's distinct separation when it comes to career achievements. Yes. Let's not act like we didn't get past a critical period of learning from grade school to middle school. Let's just act like we don't know 1, 2, 3. Now, class, which number has greater value? 2 or 1? I got it. I got it. 2. Oh, you're smart. Good to you. Next question. Which has higher value? 3 or 1? Oh, I got 3. Okay. Big question. Last questions. This is for all the marble. This is for the highest grade. Which has higher value? 3 or 2? 3, ma'am. Okay. Y'all are smart. So 3 has greater value than 1. Regardless of the person that's holding that degree of achievements, you have to award them and say they did more. Terrence Crawford did more than Errol Spence's boxing career. He's did more. But look, their saving grace would be that Errol Spence is pretty much 3 belts to 1 in a single division. And then they go on a tirade and pretty much act like Terrence Crawford ain't did shit all the way up to where he is right now. And that's just simply untrue. I believe we are on a whole nother level as boxing listeners and boxing fans, boxing associates, that we want to just see the fight. We want both of the fighters to be compensated fairly. And we want a performance that pretty much compensates us, our attention, fairly. Because we're the consumers. We have to pay for this shit. So we want to be pretty much compensated in a point where we're entertained. And we know on paper, off paper, this fight has everything that we need to be grand, to go down in history and be grand. All we need is for it to be made official. I don't want to hear about, I don't care if the numbers came out and Terrence Crawford was getting 20. I would say to myself, well, somebody or Terrence Crawford felt that he wanted to fight, or he felt that he should take that 20%, and Errol's getting 80. I don't give a damn about it. I'm not going to dislike Errol anymore. I'm not going to say, oh man, he's selfish. I'm going to be like, those are grown fucking combat pugilists, man. They negotiated that shit. The only thing I want to happen for them to start talking their shit. Promo this shit. Promo. Let's go. I don't give a fuck about the numbers, man. The only time, like I said, I really give a damn is when they start talking about bogus ass PPV numbers, bogus ass deserving numbers, and exclude and eliminate. Oh man, let me put my hand over my eyes because Terrence Crawford ain't did shit. You're a bold-faced ass lie too. If Terrence Crawford ain't did shit in his career, Errol Spence ain't did shit either. And the fucked up part about ignoring that is that Errol Spence is damn near the same age as motherfucking Terrence Crawford. If you want to split them 2 years apart and you think that's all you need, good luck. Because let's see what happens if both of them move up to 154 at the same time. Then what? Then what's going to happen, y'all? Terrence Crawford be going for his 4th division. Errol Spence will be going for his 2nd division. So don't start bringing in this Marvin Hagler bullshit. Don't start creating, a look back in history and put Errol Spence up there with one of the greats, all because he won't be able to complete multiple divisions before he get up out of here. I mean, that'd be tough. I'm not saying he can't do it, but Terrence Crawford is already calling out the undisputed 154-pound champion. But another brother doesn't want to eat with his brother. So it's more so, no, I don't want to do that. That. We're talking about a 3-division champion, once again, to a brother who's in a single division. I look at it like this. Let's just say Errol Spence calls out Mel Charlo. Isn't that what I said he should do? I was the first one to come up and say, Errol Spence, he should call out Mel Charlo when he pick up the motherfucking Undisputed. If they can't make the Terrence Crawford fight, go fight your stablemate. Go fight your stablemate, bro. These brothers trying to be friends and shit. Just like these YouTube communities. They want to click up together and be friends with one another. Well, it's easy to be friends on YouTube, but y'all ain't getting paid like that. These cats are competing for millions. So why? It's a benefit for Errol Spence to call out Mel Charlo if he can't get the Crawford fight, because Crawford has already did it. He's not going to get the Canelo fight. So goddamn, ruffle some feathers, ripple the waters, pissing people off, especially Jamel Charlo, and say, man, hey, bro, man, we got to eat. What's good? What's good with it? Mel Charlo asking something like, what, hold on. DJ, what this? I know you ain't talking well. I think you talking, Errol. Yeah, man, why can't we go in here and get this shit, man? Let's eat, man. Let's make this fight. Before you have to face your mandatories and shit, dog, let's make this fight. Man, that's fucked up, dog. You my brother, dog. Hey, Maul, come over here right now, Maul. If you in training, get over here right now, Maul. Errol calling me out, dog. That's the kind of shit that you're going to get from Mel Charlo. I'm just giving scenarios, people. That's all. Content. Andrew Charles, I don't know what the Spence fans post. I only speak based on my observations. I know all these fans have picked a side and are not objective, which includes fans of Spence and Bud, etc. Espinoza, he said Weasel Espinoza knows EJ versus Bud is for the hardcore fans. Showbox don't want to cough up all that dollar. And that's what I was trying to explain, how the Terrence Crawford, Jamel Charlo can be made easier than the Bud Crawford, Errol Spence. Because regardless if Jamel Charlo is undisputed, he still isn't as popular than Errol Spence. So the fight can be made. He doesn't have any backyard bragging rights. Mel Charlo doesn't. He doesn't have any backyard bragging rights. Him and his brother was on the same card, on the same evening, in the same ring, and they did terrible. Terrible. So therefore, he has more belts, and he's first to do it, but he ain't as popular as the guy who has 3 belts. That's a division lower than him. Man, they have the perfect look. Just to slide just a little bit into the emergency lane, right? It's such a perfect opportunity for these brothers to eat 3 ways, man. But it's just tough. It can eat off Crawford Charlo. We can eat off Crawford freaking Spence. Errol Spence versus Mel Charlo. They can eat. They can all eat off one another right now. It's the perfect setting. Very, very, it's a perfect setting. And they have to hurry up and try to make up their minds because Jaron Ennis is waiting in the shadows. Well, I wouldn't say the shadows no more. I think he's standing out there in the light with that look on his face like, hey, what the fuck you gonna do? You need to hurry up. Chop, chop, nigga. Let's go, chop, chop. Y'all better get that shit taken care of. Y'all already saw I had Clayton in there, goddamn doing somersaults and shit. What's next? What's good, Errol? These brothers can eat off one another, but they're not gonna do it because our mentality isn't like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Seriously. Like, it always got to be some same side of the street shit. It always got to be in-house. We see all these other fighters, all these other fighters, they're able to step in the ring and get the shit and make it happen. Outside of 2 black fighters. Whenever it comes to 2 black fighters trying to make some shit pop, how many times it's not going to be for the grand finale? Like, if you look at the 4-belt era of Undisputed, Jermaine Taylor, and then you got B-Hop, you know what I'm saying? You got Terrence Crawford, you got Jamel Charlo, It's not like we can't be at the top of the food chain. I'm just saying when we're in a position where we can selectively choose somebody to dance with for history, it don't always play out that way. It doesn't always play out that way, man. These brothers can eat. I would even go further to say, you know what Canelo just did with him going up a division and losing? Now, check this out. I've said this before. If Errol Spence goes up there and able to get a 2-fight with Jermell Charlo, yes, it'll be tough to go through those 2 fights without facing Terrence Crawford somewhere in between. It'll just kill the interest of boxing. It'll kill it. It'll be like the what's that shit? The stock market crashing. When it comes to this topic, it'll be the stock market crashing. But the stock market is crashed and it's recovered, right? People wouldn't like it, but then they'll get over it because it took so long to make the fight in the beginning that no one gives a fuck about it. So if Errol Spence was to go in there and fight Mel Charlo twice, and they're able to do what I told you to do, 1-1, add another division, add another damn credential to Mel Charlo's legacy. He moved the fuck up to 60, get off those belts. It still opens up Terrence Bud Crawford to add to his legacy. Then the belts are vacated. He's able to move up to 54. But then, what about him facing Spence at 54? Now we're talking about a 2-division champion, formerly undisputed at 154, Crawford formerly undisputed at 140. They can potentially fight at 154. We're just looking at 147 because right here, right now, it's in the presence and it looks good. This is what we can make happen. But it doesn't mean that if it doesn't happen at 47, it can't happen at 54. What if Mar Charlo does decide to take the elevator down a notch, down the floor, and come to 154? How does that set up? Okay, let's just say we have Mar Charlo. We got Sebastian Fundora, man. We have Charles Conwell, Tim Tszyu. We have Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. We have all these 154 pounders now. 154 super welterweights looking marvelous. Now the topic of the conversation comes up again, and it's quite different. Because now, you have belts everywhere. It depends on how shit plays out with both fighters, Terrence Crawford and Spence. And everything else is going to be going on with Sebastian Fundora and stuff like it's going to shake it up. It doesn't mean they have to fight at 47. They can still make money at 154. Don't say I ain't tell you that shit. Being though not, I'm just talking about the numbers, which in the end I don't really care about. Only victory matters. True words. I've been saying for a minute we might see Bud Charlo before Spence. Or see the Spence fight at 154. It still might be a solid, maybe valid though. Yeah, for real. I agree. And in Charles, I'm sure most numbers are inflated. I know companies aren't in the business to lose money. So Bud business for 20 mil guaranteed, and Spence asking for the same or more than split PPV. Look, it comes down to let me continue to read. I'll get back to you, Ben. I'm glad you brought that up. Where did this report of Bud asking for 20 million come from? Good point. That's 2 points to talk about. Good shit. In order for that company to make a profit, they will have to sell more than 750K PPV, and they aren't sure they're gonna sell that many PPV. So let's hit on these 2 talking points. That was very inclusive, right? Let's just talk about the asking. All right. Because both of these summations that Ben put in and Charles, they kind of blend in and bleed to one another. The 20 million, where did it come from? That's what I'm saying about the YTC. We have a lot of runners, man. Y'all running right to the carousel. Y'all grab a horse and y'all go around in a circle, and the same narrative is pushed in between that little circle. Y'all hop off and y'all spread that shit within the general pop. Where did the 20 million come from? We see people up here, 20 million rumored. Where did this 20 million come from? Where's the receipts? Where's the documentation? Where's the damn site? Where can we cite the source? Y'all can't be going around here spreading this shit because you hang out in chats. That's why I enjoy most of who's freaking my chat, because I pretty much understand where their integrity at when it comes to boxing. So if they put some shit out there, it ain't no hearsay type shit. Where did the 20 million come from, bro? Where did this 20 million come from? In order for me to speak on 20 million, I have to know if it's something that Terrence Crawford said. Did he verbalize his intent to get 20 million and 50 on the back end? Where did it come from? Okay, another solid point that Ben made. Ben said, in order that company to make profit, they will have to sell more than 750K PPV, and they aren't sure. All right, let's get one understand about how these promotions work, right? You know damn well that we've heard about investors being involved. How many times have we heard about investors? You have these millionaires and billionaires that invest in this sport. They invest with certain people. Did we not hear the amount of money that these investors were seeking when it came to PBC? So I'm not going to go on a PBC tirade, but these individuals like Al are not the ones that's just coming out his pocket with his own money. Rich people use other rich people money. That's what they do. That's what boxing is about. So when you saying a company losing, yeah, God damn it, it happens. Not like you think, but that shit happens. Losing money, it happens, people. When it comes to this boxing shit, it happens. Bob told you it happens. So look, the triple OG, Bob Arum, as long as he's been in the game, I'm talking about footprints that goes back to the DK era. You trying to tell me he's going to sign Crawford? He's going to allow Crawford to be signed outside that default, that little template that they have? If you're not a PPV fighter, you should get under 1 mil guarantee money, or you might get 1.2 or 1.5, no more than 2, no more than 2 mil. And you're trying to tell me Crawford went in the ring with a guarantee of 6 mics, and we get these Spencerholics up here saying he moving funny? Are y'all delirious? Should I go back to grade school, middle school? Are y'all absolutely in a state of delirium? If Errol Spence was getting 1.2 to 1.5, once again, is 6 higher value than 1.5? Just because a fighter is on PPV and he has back end deferred money, do y'all know if that fighter even got received all their money yet? We hear fighters all the time not getting paid their money. People sit up here and create these damn grandiose lies saying, look, Spence fighting in a stadium, he got to get. That doesn't mean he's making an astounding amount of money on the back end. He might be getting paid, but he has to pay people. What is the percentage? What is the percentage, y'all? What is the percentage? What are the numbers? We don't know. And how much is Spence getting on the back end? Has he got paid already? And if he did get paid, what was the sum? The Zone will love to pay EJ and Bud what they want. The Zone is giving dollars away with this BS trilogy. So Let's look at the billionaire that's the runner, the runner of the zone, right? I forgot his name. Billionaire, right? So if you look at what he would be willing just to take this fight, pretty much it would be guaranteed money because we all know the structure, the infrastructure when it comes to PPV absent when it comes to the zone, right? So it may benefit a matchroom, the zone to pick up this shit, but they will be coming from an investor. And let's just say they paid him 15 million from a guy just to host a fight. Sometimes they're hosting the fight knowing they're not going to make any money on the back end, but they're going to get exposure. If Matchroom is able to put on a fight with Errol Spence and Terrence Crawford, it's going to provide them exposure. They may not make a crazy amount of money, if any, off of the fight, but it will provide them exposure. It would open eyes of other people, say, damn, they was able to get this shit. Let's just say it went to a purse bid or something. You know what I'm saying? Anything like that. Like, real talk. Like, what if that was the case? What if we just had something play out like Triller? Triller bidding on Teofimo Lopez and Cambozo. And then, that shit played out. I mean, come on, man. And we all know Crawford and Spence is bigger than Teofimo and Cambozo. We all know that shit. I think an equal guarantee and Spence can get a higher split on the gate and PPV would be reasonable. But now I'm playing Faneker, which is a fan and a manager. Okay, that's not that bad. Like, look, let's just say Spence get more on the back end. I don't care. If Crawford is getting what he's getting on the front and Spence is getting higher on the back, so what? Cool. I'm all for it. Are they going to fight? Have y'all agreed on this shit? Okay. We're going to get the fight. They're going to announce it this weekend. All right, cool. That's all I want. That's all I want to know. Because at the end of the day, they negotiate their worth. When they check their bank accounts, that's the money that they're going to be going in there, putting their life on the line for. I heard 15 million on a different channel. Look, I've heard so many amounts, man. I've heard so many amounts. It's crazy, man. I don't know where it come from. I said if both fighters are asking for that figure, the company has to be confident they're going to recoup their money. Look, these companies, they've been, well as I do, that they don't always recoup their money. And if they are recouping the money, that means whatever the contract was detailing for that fighter to get on the back end, sometimes that amount is reduced. If they put any type of word, so-and-so is guaranteed money on the back end, results may vary. Amount may vary. If they're telling you that the amount may vary, and it's not, so-and-so will get exactly 40% on the back end. That's what is remaining after everybody is paid. That ain't first dibs, goddammit. That's after everybody is paid. It depends on what the language is like, man. Man, the purse amount that gets listed is a fraction of what those fighters actually made. See? People up here talking that shit for real. It's a fraction, man. Especially for PBC fighters. Bud Spence might do 500, 600K streaming, can't be stopped. Yeah, man, like they're going to do pretty decent numbers in my opinion. If the Saudis ain't interested in EJ or Bud, then that's saying something. You know why they ain't interested? Because some people feel like They're not in control if they go over there to Saudi Arabia and get that money. You know, you go over there to Dubai and get that money. They feel like, that's not something they want to do. Because they feel like they don't have control. You know what I'm saying? You go from the home base, home footprint, MSG, Vegas, whatever. And it seems like you have control because, your entity resides here in the US as a promotional entity, right? But when you go to Saudi Arabia, it just seems like you're going to a generic brand and you're trying to come up with some crazy outlandish plan to make money. It seems like an outcry of desperation. It works for some people. You know what I'm saying? Every time it goes to Saudi Arabia, people's like, oh, so-and-so getting this amount of money. When Joshua was over here, oh, Joshua's staying to make 100 million. Not. Real talk. No. If the Saudis ain't, I read that Eddie should make the offer to sign Bud to fight a 2-fight deal, then make offer to host fight between Spence and Crawford. It won't be that easy because, man, I have mad respect, more respect for Eddie Hearns than I used to. Like Eddie Hearns is one of the best out there when it comes for him mediating between the fighters as a promoter. Like, man, Eddie is the best out there. I'm not gonna lie, man. Eddie is the best out there, man. Like Eddie knows his shit. Eddie knows his shit. You know what I'm saying? He knows how to handle these fighters, man. The replies that he gives some of these fighters are just incredible. Just like when Teofimo them said, give us 10 million. And Eddie said, you're not worth 10 million, right? You know what I mean? You're not worth 10 million. You know what I mean? Come on, Teo. Don't come in here and be unreasonable. It's bullocks. It's rubbish. Fuck all that Saudi shit. This is an American fight. Yeah, man. African American fight for sure. We don't want that shit in motherfucking Saudi Arabia, dog. We want that shit over here. So if we are close, if the finances are right, we can go attend the fight before it sell out because it's gonna sell out. Now, being Eddie will only complicate things. He needs to stay out the way. Speaking of Saudis, it's man, I ain't talking about that shit, man. I don't know. To be honest with you, Andrew, I don't know. I don't even talk about that shit. Hearns said himself he can't afford. He said himself he can't afford Bud a fight. So why sign him just to overpay him? He can't afford, or he can't afford. I don't know, but look, this whole conversation. I agree with what Mitch said. It's an African American fight. We need to have that shit over here in the U.S. No ifs, ands, and buts. We need this fight in the U.S. footprint. No ifs, ands, and buts about. Real talk. That's what we need. We need it over here in the U.S. No switching up. No Saudi Arabia shit. So we can't attend the fight. And some people want to see this shit in person. I do. I would definitely like to see it in person. Even if, the only thing, because I know credentials are going to be crazy. They're only going to give it a certain, it's going to be 2 African Americans, but they're going to be like, media, we only have 3 to 4 credentials we can hand out, and that's going to be all UK. I'm like, what? No black media will be able to get approved this time. We want to moderate the intensity if a certain fighter do not win, okay? They be trying to talk about we want to again de-escalate before they escalate. This is very intense. No, it's gonna be good. Having it in a neutral location. Sign the fight. Let's pop. Let's get it popping. Let's start making some thumbnails that makes sense and has value. You know what I'm saying? Let's create some thumbnails that we can actually talk about what we heard the news from. It's official. We want that official news right here, right now. Where that come from? This place right here. It's official. Then we start seeing the interviews pop out. They start talking their shit. You know what Errol Spence said after the fight. That's died off. That's died off. Somebody, you coming for the fucking belts? Okay, you have to have some type of contractual connection to abridge that. We still left out here in the cold. Where's the motherfucking signing? You say you want the fucking belts, you coming for the fucking belts. I mean, what's next? Atlanta, the perfect spot for that fight. Man, what you talking about, Shouty? What you talking about? That fight come down here. God damn it. I'm gonna be right there when they come in at the airport. Welcome to Black Hollywood. We have already taken your baggage to your vehicle. In your vehicle, there will be cognac. There will be some beverages and food for your team. We want you to enjoy the ride. Welcome to the city of Atlanta. Man, we will have robots on their ass, God damn it. We'll have robots. Is there any particular place you would like to stop before your destination? I.e. strip club? Any of that? Man, we will have them on concierge service, y'all. But I know they're not going to bless us with a fight like that. I already talked to somebody for PBC. I already asked them that. Real talk. I talked to a heavy hitter at PBC. I said, man, is it any way? I'm talking about, is it just a flinch, a whisker that this fight can come down to the A? And that person told me no. And I'm looking at it, I like, that person told me no before, just because they don't let out information if it's not official. So I'm not calling them a liar. I'm just saying that I'm not 100% sure if they was being honest and letting out the news to just say, well, it's a possibility it can come down to the A, because we have the arena for it. You want to talk about two African Americans coming to Black Hollywood? Shit. Look. I'm talking about Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford. We already had two come down here. You know, we had Shakur Stevens, who's half Puerto Rican. I get it. But I'm saying though, if you get Terrence Crawford and Errol Spence Jr., it's a wrap. It's a wrap, dog. Candy in the gang will be ringside. Hey. I saw her come in last time, man, and got a picture. You know what I'm saying? She is on point. But I got to respect, Todd. You know what I'm saying? I got to respect. He was with her. Lil Kim. I was right there with Monica, Toya. Shoot, T.I. was on that mug. Tiny. All of them was there. Hearn said he has no fight to offer, but Ben would get his career ended by Crawford. Oh, absolutely. Crawford would destroy Conor Ben. Conor Ben need to stick to the names he's trying to call out. Atlanta's underrated for being able to host a big matchup. I don't know if we underrated. We just don't have enough activity to give us that name that we're looking for, like Vegas. Like, if boxing was to come down here with some big fights, like it's 2022, we almost mid-year, and we haven't even had a big fight yet. Like, MMA will roll through here and throw on a card and go. No one's really looking for them unless you're a mixed martial arts fan. WWE roll through here, boom, gone. But when boxing come to town, it can really put us on the map. But for some reason, man, this footprint down here allowed Tank Davis to have 2 fights. And then they had Shakur Stevens and Jamel Herring. Now at 22, we don't have no big fights on the calendar just yet. And then check this out. We found out a day before, that Gervonta Davis, Mario Barrios press conference was going to be tomorrow when it happened. And then the same thing happened with Shakur Stevenson and Jamel Herring, I think. I don't know why they do that shit. They'll say the last minute, hey, this where the presser gonna be at State Farms at this time. And then motherfuckers rushing and trying to get down there to the presser, dog. Mercedes-Benz Stadium, aka the Georgia Dome. Nah, it ain't no aka the Georgia Dome. We tore down the Georgia Dome, bro. The Georgia Dome is no longer. It's in spirit. Michael Bisping pirate face as Ryan Canelo ball sack talking about the loss and is jumping back into a massive fight. You know, these MMA guys, they attempt to talk that talk, but they just going off, you know, who they favor the most or whatever. Like Michael Bisping, he did make it to the level of combat UFC champion, middleweight champion. He did make it up there. But he can't sit up here and switch up and start talking about Canelo and taking risks because he took several risks. You know what I'm saying? He talked mad shit to Dan Henderson, and Dan Henderson put his ass cold in a coma. I ain't never seen a fighter take flight when a fighter was already knocked out and drop an elbow like Dan Henderson. Look it up on YouTube. Brutal. Brutal. I got Rocha who stopped Blair, the Flair beating Ben. I don't know, man. You know, these guys have to be given a chance. You know, Conor Ben believes in himself big time. Ain't enough Latinos in Atlanta for boxing suits to have respect. It's Latinos down here, believe it or not, bro. Mitch, it's Latinos down here, believe it or not. Like when I say Latinos, they have their own section. And their section is close to one of the more popular sections of Buckhead, dog. Like Latinos run deep. I can spin the block and show you, and damn near a whole entire complex, y'all. A whole entire apartment complex. It's nothing but Latinos stay over there. And then you make a right-hand turn and go up the street. It's nothing but Latino stores all up the motherfucking boulevard. Maybe cooking some goddamn good-ass food up in that motherfucker, too. But Latinos are here, whether they boxing fans or not, I don't know. Ellis Stacker Barrios versus Ben. I don't know, bro. I don't know if I want to see that shit. I don't know. To be honest, I don't know if I'd like to see Conor Ben versus Jahad Tucker. You know what I'm saying? We can't forget about that killer, Jahad Tucker. You know what I'm saying? I hope Canelo versus Triple G ends in a draw. Then both of them retire. Wouldn't that be a mother? God damn. The fuck Bisping knows about what fight is massive for boxing. He's just talking, man. You know, Bisping was a tough dude, though. I have to give Bisping his respect. He was tough. He even lost the eye to the sport. Bisping used to fight with one eye, man. Big Mexican population in Atlanta. Yeah, they got Mexicans down here, all down here in the A, man. All down here in the A. Tell the suits that ATL will be the next time of boxing. Man, they already know what it is. They already know what it is. But if they come to the A, it's different. Like they'll go to Vegas and they consider Vegas like a neutral ground. You're gonna get a huge Latino population. And you know, the blacks gonna pull up. But you know goddamn well you pull up in the ATL, it's gonna be Black City. When the celebrities come out, everything, it's gonna be Black City down here. The strippers gonna come out in their best motherfucking ensemble. They're gonna be out there trying to work. May I help you with anything? Are you good? Okay. Yeah. What about you? You? What you doing after fight? They gonna be goddamn out there working, bro. Now Barrios had to get in the win column first. Yeah, he got 2 losses back to back, man. You know what I'm saying? He goes up there, loses the tank, he loses his title, moves up, and he loses the damn Keith Thurman. So yeah, I agree with that, man. Barrios need to get back on the win streak. What do you think about Frank Martin versus Cruz? I like that fight. The reason why I like see this some good shit, man. Appreciate you bringing that up. Why I like that shit right there is because Martin was calling out Devin Haney, wasn't he? So if Frank Martin is calling out Devin Haney, fight somebody else that can get you the recognition. Isaac Cruz has been in there with the champion at 135 already. He went the distance. Then he sat up there and stopped Gamboa, who's been in there with the same guy who you want to call out, bro. He's been in there with Devin Haney. Gamboa went the distance with Devin Haney, but Isaac Cruz stopped him. So if Frank Martin want to step up, you're talking about the guy who's got that experience. His common opponent has that experience, and Isaac Cruz has that experience. So Frank Martin stepping in there with Isaac Cruz, that would be a damn good fight, dog. That would be a damn good fight. And Isaac Cruz can't act brand new like he's above that shit. No, you called out Devin Haney. Isaac Cruz has fought Gamboa, who fought Devin Haney, and also he's been in there with Gervonta Davis. So, hell yeah. But I tell you like this, I don't even think Isaac Cruz would consider at 135 a fighter like Frank Martin, man. Because they're gonna be on that other shit that they own with Ryan Garcia. Right now we're waiting for bigger and better fights. We're trying to accelerate our presence in the lightweight division. So we're gonna start by selectively choosing our competition. We want to get the winner of Tank versus Romero. All right. No more calls, no more questions, no more questions. That's all. Thank you. That's what they're gonna be on. Real talk. They already showed us with Ryan Garcia. I think it ain't happening. Martin versus Cruz. Yeah, it's not gonna happen because right now, I mean, who can Martin? Martin is like in a situation where he could be like David Morrell, but the lightweight division, man, it has a lot of good names in there, but those names ain't fighting each other like that. For real. Like they're not fighting each other like that. So it's some names there, but we know Ryan Garcia is not going to fight him. More than likely, since Isaac Cruz went the distance with Gervonta, they're not going to fight him. Jojo, no doubt, Jojo will fight him. I don't know, man. It'll be tough. Hold on for a second, y'all. Yeah, we back. He said, man, F. Ryan. Gamboa would get in with Frank Martin. Good name, but Gamboa is a punching bag for 135 is on the rise. I don't know if people want to see that fight, but Gamboa, he's showing that his name still has relevance. Even him losing, you got to think about it. Him losing to Devin Haney, And then him coming there losing to Eastside Cruz. Frank Martin still gets some credit off Gamboa's name, believe it or not. And Gamboa get another payday. Cruz better not fight Tank again or getting stopped. What about Rivera versus Martin? I like that fight. I think it's a tough fight for Martin, though. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, man. Mikael Rivera, dog, that'd be a tough fight for Martin, for real. That'd be a tough fight. That's a good matchup right there, man. That's a good matchup. I like that. That'll be tough for Martin, though. That motherfucking whooping he put on Josue Vargas. God damn, dog. Yeah, of course Rivera wants Tank. Of course he wants Tank. But he has to understand Tank is used to fighting big dudes, taller dudes. Be careful what you ask for there, Rivera. And Rivera's just trying to get that notch, man, that valuable notch on his belt. That's what he's trying to do. JoJo Cruz will be cool. Yeah, I think it'll get stopped on cuts, man. I think JoJo Cruz fight will be stopped on cuts because we already seen JoJo eye hanging down in the Tevin Farmer fight, and they allow him to continue. Now you know damn well that fight should have been stopped, but they allow him to continue. Queen Grande Sombrero versus JoJo Diaz. Yeah, man. Like, hey, I don't think that'll be a good fight for him though. Ryan Garcia and JoJo Diaz for what? If it happens, it happens. But I don't know, bro. I don't know if people really want to see. JoJo Diaz really never had Devin Haney in serious trouble, and you want to go in there with a fighter like Ryan Garcia, who I'm not saying he can't be caught, but what type of pace can JoJo put on Ryan Garcia to earn his respect? Will JoJo Diaz give a better performance than Luke Campbell on that night? He definitely gonna give a better performance than Emmanuel Tago. We know that shit. That shit was a tragedy to your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You heard Shakur saying he dares Tank to get in the ring with him. Yeah, he can dare, he can call out, but I think Gervonta Davis want that fight, y'all. I think that's a fight people want to see. Gervonta Davis, Shakur Stevenson, that'd be a fight we want to see in Atlanta. I hope if the fight does happen, I'm sure he's gonna get past Roller Romero by straight violence. There's gonna be straight and other violence. You know what I'm saying? Mercenary type shit. It's gonna be very brutish in the early rounds if it lasts past 5 or 6, y'all. All this damn power shotting on the mitts don't say shit to me. Like I said before, I've heard dudes on the mitts. Look, the crazy part about it, I remember listening to dudes warming up on the mitts at regional cards, and I had to go see who that was. I said, shit, this might be a future superstar. Let me go see. And look, bullshit you not. I go up there, boom, peek in the room. Pop, 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 pop. So I was like, okay, I look on the goddamn door, who it is. I look him up on motherfucking Box Rec, and I'm like, dude got like 6 losses, dog. I got 6 losses in a row, but he in there damn warming up the mitts. That shit happens. All that power shit and goddamn popping the mitts, man, that shit ain't nothing. That ain't nothing. That don't mean shit, dog. You have to go in there and try to hit someone that is moving, not a mitt. And it's gonna be straight violence, bro. It's gonna be straight violence between Tank and Rolly Romero. Straight violence, dog. Oh, Valenzuela? He's on Valenzuela? I like that, man. If that's who you're talking about. Valenzuela? Man, dude is serious. I couldn't get close to him, man, when I saw him out there either. I saw him too. He's serious, man. Y'all sobered up from the Rolly shit last couple of days. He might be in for a bad night. Rolly, you know how he flick his head to the side? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you're doing some martial art shit. You got them doing you're executing your form and shit. And you know, it's form day and you got to go before the professor and execute your form. How they be making all those subtle head movements. Ha! Ha! And you know, they be putting that expression into it. That's Rolly. Rolly gives us that head movement. Well, that shit's not gonna happen in boxing. You're not gonna do that with Tank. You're not gonna be throwing those powerful shots and expect him not to send the uppercut up the center, sign, seal, confirmation receipt with that bitch. It don't matter what they have a list. His opponent gonna find out what his height is when they step in the ring. Real talk, you know. But people, it's going on too. I gotta bounce, man. It's been a pleasure as always, man. Salute y'all for doing y'all thing, talking your shit. You know, being educated on this boxing game. Continue to support the channel. Hit the like button on your way out the door, people. Appreciate you pulling up the WCS Media. Turn up and tune in to World Combat Sports. I'm out.